who got the part first? Who was Firestorm and who was?
Steve got Arrow first. The interesting thing was I read it first. My agent sent it to me and I read it. And you always picture yourself when you're reading something. And I pictured Steve. And
Really?
Yeah, we had Kings season tickets. We were sitting at a hockey game, and I was like, "Hey, have you read Arrow?" And he was like, "I don't know what that is." And I was like, "You should read it." They sent it to him. My agents phoned me, and they were like, "What'd you think?" I'm like, "I think my cousin's gonna get it."
Did you have to try out for it?
Yeah. Read. The first time that I was here with Greg Berlanti, I went to his office and read for it. And you walk out of an audition, you're like, oh, I think maybe I got that, but I actually got it, which is not.
Who's the older cousin?
Steve is 7 years older.
7 years old. Yeah. Were you close as kids?
We were close growing up.
Yeah.
And then because of the age difference, we don't spend as much time together. But then Robbie came to me when I was 23 years old, and asked me for my ID.
I needed a fake ID. So even though he was 7 years older, we looked enough alike, and it was a real ID, so nobody questioned it.
This was in Los Angeles?
This was in Toronto.
It's in Toronto.
You're
both from Toronto.
Are you
yes.
cousins on father's side, mother's side?
Our dads are brothers, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about Code 8. How did this come about?
Well, Steve and I, during my time on Flash and Steve on Arrow, we got to shoot one episode together, and we didn't say a word to each other the whole time. It was a lot of fun, but it kind of felt incomplete. So we always wanted to work together. Mm-hmm. A friend of mine, Jeff Chan, who directed the movie, we always wanted to work together. So Jeff and I met with Steve in Vancouver and kind of said, what do you think of doing something like this? We talked about the crowdfunding aspect, and we decided to give it a shot. And that was about 4.5 years ago, 5 years ago. We shot a short film.
Fall 2014.
Wow, yeah, so 5 years ago. We shot a short film. It front-paged Reddit, which was very big for us. We went to Indiegogo. We raised over $2 million. And then we made a movie over the last 2 summers in Toronto.
And it's out now. What does Code 8 mean?
So Code 8 set in a world where 4% of the population have superpowers, ostensibly, but they're take over.
Yeah, I mean, for most of these people, they're not large powers. You're on a scale from a Class 1 to a Class 5. And Class 5 can be very dangerous, but most of these people are Class 1s and Class 2s, and it's not that much different from being a normal person. With that being said, in this world, the police is very militarized. These people are marginalized for having these powers. It's not a good thing to have a power in our world. It just makes life a little harder, and these people are just trying to get by. In our movie, it's really about how far someone will go to save someone that they love.
Who do you play?
I play Garrett.
And
I'm the veteran. Mm-hmm. He's the rookie.
Yeah. So my character, my mom is sick. I play Connor, and I'm trying to make money to pay for my mom's medical bills. And Steven's character takes me under his wing and shows me the criminal underworld of people using their powers.
And are you criminalized?
I mean, my moral compass gets pushed pretty far, that's for sure.
You think fans of the CW who know you as the Arrow and you as the Fire will like this?
Yeah.
Just yeah.
Yeah, just yeah. I mean, my character is the hero of his own story. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I like about Code 8 is that there's a lot of moral ambiguity in terms of we would do the screenings and people would be like, "What's it like to play a villain?" And I go, "What do you mean?" And, "Well, you played a villain." And I go, "Did I?" I think
so. I read my own interpretation into it.
Yeah, when we set out to make the movie, we didn't want to make this movie with right and wrong and black and white. We wanted it to be this gray area of real life. People make, bad decisions for the right reasons, and sometimes it's easy to judge something that somebody does until you really think about, if you were dealt their hand and how you would handle it.
When he was older than you, did you grow up admiring him?
Yeah, for
Is
sure.
that true?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I used to sleep over at his house. I remember Steve had the Nintendo Super Scope, which was like the big gun that came with Nintendo, and I didn't have one of those at home. So that was like my favorite part about hanging out at Steve's. But as you know, as 7 years my older, he was someone I really looked up to and tried to be like.
Just as a quick aside, I also look up to him.
You were close as kids? Well, you were
We
old.
were close as kids, but when I came out to LA, he was much further along in the industry.
Really?
Yeah, and I looked up to him.
What came first, the Arrow or the Fire?
Arrow.
Arrow.
For sure. Paved the way
24,
for
yeah.
all of the CW superhero shows.
What made the CW shows successful?
So one of the great things about what Greg Berlanti did with all of these shows, Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, Black Lightning, everything, he's brought in a ton of supporting characters that, you know, a lot of diehard fans know and a lot of casual fans don't know. So I got to play Firestorm, who was in the Justice League, who a lot of people knew, but a lot of people didn't. And it was a blast. They cover me in fire. I get to fly. You look a little silly while you're shooting it, but it looks great when it goes to air.
A lot of green screen.
A little bit. A lot of just pretending things are there when they're not.
And how do they dress the Green Arrow?
In his Green Arrow suit, and I do all this stuff. Well, I mean, I actually had a good chat about this because he was thinking about playing Firestorm going forward, and he goes, you know, one of the reasons that maybe I don't want to keep doing it is because you get to actually do stuff, and I just put my hands out and pretend that I'm about to fly, and then nothing else happens, and it's not as engaging.
Yeah, it's much less, you know, hand-to-hand combat, stunt fighting. I just kind of pretend to shoot things, which looks cool when it's all said and done, but while you're shooting it is much less exciting.
You make it sound easy. It's not easy, is it?
It's not easy.
No, and you have to make sure you're not self-conscious about it at all. You need to know that the people who do the visual effects will make sure you look good because you look very silly while you're doing it.
And I understand there's currently a crossover event happening in the show. Recently revealed something about a mystery character, Catherine McNamara's character. What can you tell us?
She plays my daughter, and last night on the crossover, my character died. My mom.
Hope everyone's seen it.
And my mom FaceTimed me afterwards.
No way.
She was sobbing. Yeah, no.
Your daughter died?
No, I died last night in the show.
You were off the show?
Yeah. And Kat McNamara plays my daughter, and she is trying to hopefully launch a new show.
What's happening to Firestorm?
Oh, I've died way too many times on that show. They kill me and they bring me back, and they kill me and
How
they bring
can
me
they
back.
do that?
Because there's multiple Earths, and it's sci-fi. So if you're dead, you're never really dead. So it's been nice, you know. Whenever I'm available, they bring me back. We got great people on the show. They're good friends, and it's nice to pop up for a couple weeks here and there.
Both shows shot in L.A.?
Vancouver.
In Vancouver.
Yeah.
Saves on unions.
Tax credits.
Tax credits, but also the crews up in Vancouver. The infrastructure up there, the crews are world class. They're really great.
Also, you shoot all of them up there, and then you've got, for these crossover episodes, which are a logistical nightmare, you know, Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, Batwoman, Legends of Tomorrow, they all shoot in Vancouver.
Are you in the same scenes together?
We only got to do that once, and they wouldn't let us talk to each other. They thought it was too weird.
That's why we made Code 8.
Yeah.
Explain the fanaticism of your viewers.
I think people are just looking for an escape. And I think although these are sci-fi fantasy shows, they deal with real problems and things that people can relate to and things that we've seen firsthand help people get through their own problems. And I think that's part of why people really dig into them.
Yeah, someone's going through a tough time, and they pop on Netflix and they see Arrow, they see The Flash, and then they dig in. And the next 3-4 days of their life, as they're binge watching it, maybe their problems aren't their problems anymore.
Never miss a beat. Subscribe to Larry King now and watch new episodes every day.